Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to episode 55 of the Elements Dev Diary. Now, this week I've got something absolutely mind-blowing to show you. We've been working on this since last year and I've alluded to this before, saying that we are doing a bit of an overhaul of the UI of Elements. And while we're not completely done yet, this is well underway and it's looking amazing. So I want to run you through what we've changed and show you where we're up to. And this has been based on your feedback. And to be honest, the feedback you gave, we were kind of feeling the same way as well. So it's kind of that, it's reassuring to know that you were feeling the same way about the UI as we were, and that you just wanted to be able to see a bit more stuff, a bit more flexibility. So I'm going to show you what we've implemented. And yeah, let's dive into the project and have a look. So you may have noticed I've got Elements open here, and it looks slightly different. If you're familiar with Elements and you've been using it, you might have already picked up on the cues that actually these toolbar items up here, they're looking different. And that's because we've slimmed them right down to give us a bit more room, and you'll see why that's important as I go through the demo. Now, we took a lot of inspiration from Xcode here. Xcode has these very slim bars to allow you to fit more items in, and I think that's important with the way we're going with the UI and the features we're adding. This is going to be really useful. So those big chunky icons we had before were too big. We found they were too big, so we slimmed those down. But that's not really what I'm here to show you. So let's dive into it. Now, I've got this project. I'm going to make the window bigger because I think this feature, if you've got a big monitor, you're going to want to take advantage of it. You're going to absolutely love it. So I've got a 27-inch Apple display here. And this is absolutely great to work with, and you'll see why in a minute. So one bit of feedback we had, people wanted an easy way to drop. You got your components here, and rather than dragging and dropping them over into the main editor, you wanted a way to take these components and drop them directly into the Node browser. Now the problem was the Node browser, as you can see here, they're on different tabs. So it's very hard. You can't really drag from here into here. So you talked about a 3-column layout. So we can now do that. So let's go back to our components, and I want to take this Node browser and I want to put it here. And to do that, we simply click on the Node browser and I drag it out, and you'll notice there's this little blue line appears. And if I drop it there, boom, it's now given us another column, which is amazing in itself. This is really cool because now when I'm working in a document, I can click through here and I can see it highlighting the different items. And if I want to drop a new item in the canvas, I can just put it straight to here, to my node tree, and I can see exactly where it needs to go. So, you know, I'm working down here and I'm in the grid and I can see it's highlighted the grid. And I'm thinking in this flex here, I want to add a couple more items. And rather than flicking back and forth between the components and the Node browser, because before I would have to go into the Node browser, find what I wanted, the flex, great, and then click back to components and drag it in down here. But now I can just drop my items in here. You know, I want some more text, boom, there it is. I want some more text, and I can drop it wherever I want, boom, and there it is. So yeah, so this is absolutely a phenomenal way of working here, and just so quick to drop between the two. Absolutely superb. This is great. I've been loving working like this. But when we were building this feature, and Tom has done an absolutely stellar job here, he's gone above and beyond, and you'll see why in a minute. While we were building this feature, it was like, well, that's great, but probably if we shipped it like this, you guys are going to say, well, yeah, that's great, but actually I wanted 4 columns, you know, I want some more stuff over here. So it was like, okay, fair enough. Let's add another panel over there. So what you can do, I've got my resources here, and I can take that over here and I can just drop it in this side. And now I've got a 4-panel layout, which is super, super flexible. I can have all these things and I can arrange these things where I want. And what's really nice is these are all tabs. So what you can do is, if I wanted to see my pages all the time and I wanted my components and node browser together, I could drop it over here and boom. And now I've got another little tabbed panel here, and I can put as many things in here as I want. So I can take this and I could pop this over here, or maybe I want this over in this browser here, or in this panel here. So this is really, really configurable. You know, I can put things exactly where I want. So I could move these back over here, and maybe I want my pages in this one. You know, whatever you want, configure it however you like. So this is really cool. You know, this is absolutely lovely to do this, and we've got these 3 columns. But one of the things we noticed, let's drop this over here. One of the things we noticed here, let's drop this one in here actually. That's what I wanted. We can drop our resources in here, and one of the problems you can see that's going on here, we've got a lot of vertical space. And it's like, well, that's great, but actually I might want to stack these things up. So what you can do, this is the inspector now for your resources. And what we can do is actually, this would make more sense in here. So what we can do, I can drag it over here. And if I drag it down the bottom, you can see that blue line appears, and boom, it's now down there. So now I've got my, my inspector with my images. And you can set this up however you want to work. You know, if you prefer to work like this, you can do that and have them side by side. So as you click through, you get all the details. So this is really, really flexible. I could do it over here as well. Like I can put the components in here. So now I've got my pages and components. You can configure this however you want. It's absolutely wild. But you know, the amazing thing is it's not limited to just 4 columns. You can really go to town with this. Let's pop this one back in here, and let's take this one out of here. And if I want, I can stack things up this side. So I could put that there. And now we've still got a 4-column layout. Let's make this a bit slimmer. We've still got a 4-column layout. And you know, actually I think I want this down here with my oh no, let's put this here. I want this here. We've still got a 3-column, 4-column layout, and we can go even further. So perhaps let's have a look. I've got my settings for my components here, and I can take this and we can drop it in here. And now I'm just building up these columns, and there's no limit to this. So if you've got an ultra wide monitor, you could stack all these things up and get them configured just the way you want. So this is really, really nice. Let's drop these back in here, and we'll pop this, let's pop this in here. So now I've got my components, and then I've got my node browser, and then I've got the settings for the for my components, you know, and I can close this one down if I don't need it. So this is really, you can just configure this however you want. It's absolutely wild. So this is all really cool. I could put that back over here. So yeah, this is all absolutely superb. Let's drop these back in here. Really configurable. I wish every app was like this, but we didn't stop here. We went even further. This is absolutely mind-blowing stuff. So now this is all great. Let's pop this back in here. These things are so easy to move around. So it's so nice to just reconfigure these things on the fly to how you're working. We've got our code editor down here, you know, when you build a custom component. So I've got this little custom form here, which is great. So this is another panel, essentially, a sliding panel. So we've got, we can hide and show these side panels as you're used to. Oh, slight bug there. But we can also, if we press this, it just hides the code editor. because of course this is a configurable panel as well, and that means we can take things like our resources and say, well, actually I want that down here. So now we've got our resources down there and our code editor, and you can put as many things as you want like this. We can pop that back over there, and that's great. And we can take this from being down the bottom of the window and we can put it at the side here. So this is, so let's open that a bit more and let's put this here. So now, if we want, I can hide that. If we're working on a custom component, we can reconfigure the layout and we can get this looking just how we want. So now I can work on this component here and I can see a lot more code, which is, you know, and you'll see as I type it, automatically updates the custom components there. It's super powerful, super nice to work this way. So this is really good. It's just another way of working. And you can really, what I'm trying to show you here is how you can set this up exactly how you want to work. If you want to leave it default like you're used to, like we have it set up, that's fine. You never need to touch this feature. But I think a lot of people, most people are going to want to do a little bit of configuring to how they like it set up. And I think I'll touch on that at the end. So this is all looking really great. Let's pop this back down here because I kind of quite like it down there. And that's the amazing thing about this system. You configure it how you want. Now, let's make this window a little bit smaller. And a lot of people have two monitors because this is a one screen app. It's all in one window. So a one windowed app and everything's in that window. And when we were building this, we were like, this is really nice and tidy. This is great. But what do you do if you've got multiple monitors? You know, a lot of people like working with multiple monitors because you can have your main editing area on one screen and then on the other screen you can have further controls. But that's not really possible with an app that just runs in a single window. Like, what are you going to do? Stretch the window across multiple monitors? That's a bit weird, especially if they're different ratios. Not really the way you want to work. So we thought about that. And this is really, really cool. Again, what you can do is rather than dragging these items around here to place them in different areas, what you can do, you just have to drag it out of the window and it creates its own window. So we take this component, this tab, drag it out, and you can see that little animation to show you, right, this is going to be a window, and boom, it's turned into its own window. So if you're a developer, you're working on a custom component, you could put this on your other monitor and take advantage of having a full screen text editor and then elements on your other screen. It's a super way to work. And of course, we didn't just stop at dragging out and making one window. You know, I've got the code editor here, but it doesn't need to be the code editor. It can be anything. I can drop out another window here. You can have them all as separate windows if you want. This is professional UI. This is for you to configure the way you want. It's absolutely awesome. So I can take this one out as well. And now I've got all these little floating palettes I can organize however I want. And I know what you're already thinking. You're thinking, well, you know, I want to organize all this and maybe I want those two on top of each other. And it's like, well, this is a little bit fiddly to do all this. And what I really want, I want the tabs and I want the split views. So what we can do, I can drag this down here and it becomes a split view in that window. And the same here, I could create another split in this window if I want, because that's also what I didn't touch on here. It's not limited to just two. You can have as many as you want. So if you've got a tool monitor, it's your UI, you configure it how you want. So what we can do, we can take, I can take this one and I can drop it down here, and we'll take this one and I'll drop it down here. And now we've got a single window with these tabs in them, and I can just drag them back as well. You know, I can click back and forth. you can set it up however you want, and that is absolutely wild. It's just so nice. There we go. Put that there. Whoops. I don't need to preview this. Oops. Click back and let's pop this back down here. So you can see this is really configurable. What else didn't I show you? Oh, what you can also do, you can take these and you can put them at the top of the editor. Now we've got some ideas for this that we're going to work on to make this even more useful, but this is just to show you we really wanted to make it super configurable. So rather than just stopping at that 3 column, just let you design the UI and put things where you want. And I love this. I love it so much. You know, I can put these here. So I've got my resources. Just set it up however I want. Absolutely, you know, Tom has done just an absolutely out of the world job on this UI. It's been a lot of work to get here because we built the app as a single view in a single window. So it required, you know, a lot of work on the back end to redo this. But I think the extra effort to make it this flexible was worth it, because none of this stuff on the Mac comes for free. You know, it's a lot of work to do this, but we're here. And this means going forward, it gives us so many options on how we can improve the UI in so many ways and make it so flexible that all the features we add, you can decide where you want to put them. It's phenomenal. I've never seen an app like this. I mean, Photoshop has a lot of panels and you can configure that, but this is so lovely to work with. You've seen how I can just drag these things out and boom, how it works, and just drag it back in and move it around. It's you'll wonder why every app isn't like this, and it should be built into the Mac. It's that good. I'm convinced it's that nice. So with that out of the way, I thought I would, before we wrap up this video, I thought I'd just show you how I've kind of had my UI set up and how I've been using it. And yeah, and when this will be shipping in the next beta, so hopefully later this week, we will push out another beta and it will have what I've demoed here today, plus a whole bunch of fixes on components that Ben's been working on. Yeah, just tidying up those bits, the bugs you've reported. And you can have a play with this UI and see how you want it laid out. So when the beta does ship, it'd be great to get a thread on the forum going about how you like your setup, how you have it set up, because it'd be nice to do kind of a standard setup for a first run that seems quite common. And I already think I know roughly how this is going to go, but I could be wrong. So what I like to do, I like to have my components here, and I like to have the node browser here. That is a absolute must. It really works nicely like this. And I have been working with my resources here. And to be honest, I've chopped and changed a little bit with the UI as I've kind of worked with it, and depending on what I'm working on. Yeah, and I've had the inspector down here for the images, and that's been working really well, because when I have like this banner here and I want to change the background, I can highlight these things you know, in the editor, and then if I need to, I can just drag images straight across. So boom, like that. And that's been really, really nice. So as I've been working with this, I've kind of been finding out new ways to work in Elements, and that's absolutely wild. When we built the app, and I think I know the app, but it kind of opens up a whole new world of an easier way to work and having all these things on view. So I found myself a lot less clicking between all these, because I don't, unless I'm building pages, unless I'm adding pages, sorry, I don't really need to go to this tab here. Don't use it that much, because when I'm like this, I can just quickly jump between there. And we also have, if you press Command Shift F, we've got this quick search panel. or this open quickly panel, whatever you want to call it. It was in classic. We've moved it to elements as well, and that's really cool because you can just start typing in there. So that's Command Shift F, that's in there. So you don't really need to go to the pages panel unless you're creating new pages and kind of organizing things. So this is really cool. We're thinking of expanding this to for searching for components as well and things like that. So that's pretty trivial stuff to add. Might do that later. Pretty cool. Pretty cool that it's there, and an overlooked feature, but it works great, that. And that is in classic as well. So if you're using classic, you can take advantage of that now. So I think I've shown you all the features of how flexible this is and the kind of the way I like to work. It's just really great. I mean, I do like having this over here as well. The fact that you can click through these and your settings are just there, that's quite nice. Yeah, it's just it's really just so many ways to set this up. I think it's going to take a while before I find the ultimate layout for myself. You know, I think it will be a bit of chopping and changing around, and but it's great. So let us know what you think of this feature. Is this what you wanted? I hope it is, because I can't imagine really adding much more to this, because you can literally do what you want. You can rearrange all the icons, all these icons, new windows, split windows, as many of these settings as you want. You know, it's really wild, and you can create the UI that you want, so you're in control. Thank you for all the feedback, and thank you for kind of pushing us to do this, because it was something we kind of wanted to do. And you know, like I said before, we wanted the 3 panes, but it wasn't until we started digging into it and we knew everyone had a slightly different way of working. Some people wanted the palette over here, and some people wanted the settings over here. And it wasn't until we started doing this that the idea blossomed and expanded, and it was like, wow, what if you could add more than 3 panels? What if it wasn't limited and you could add as many panels as you wanted? You know, what if? And we kind of went down that route, and it took us a long time. This is a lot of work to do this, but it's really going to pay us off as we head into the future for adding new features, tidying up the UI, making it easier to work with. So I hope you're as blown away and as excited by this feature as we are, because I think it is absolutely game-changing for those of you who are on the beta and using this every day. Your workflow will improve, and you can really make it your own app and say, yeah, this is Elements, but this is my app, because I now have it configured exactly how I like. So give us some feedback on what you've seen here today. I hope you love it. Do let us know. And when you get to play with the beta later this week, please do post screenshots of your setup. Show us how you are liking the setup, what you like, what you don't like, if there's anything we could change. Yeah, wow. All right, good. You can tell I'm excited about this, and I hope that comes across, because it's great to finally share this after, you know, starting this work late last year. And just working together with Tom to get this looking and just making sense. And I will wrap it up now. So let us know what you think. And I'll see you soon in the next video. All right, thanks for watching this as always. Cheers. Bye.